how long did it take for me to start walking properly after breaking my ankle and having surgery, right? So let's talk about this. First of all, Tereza Toledo, injured roller skater. Back in May 2023, I fell while roller skating, broke my ankle, dislocated the ankle, had to have surgery, and I pretty much couldn't walk for about 8 weeks. At that time, with physiotherapy, I started to putting more weight on the injured leg, obviously using the air cast boot because your body's not ready. After that long period of time without walking, your muscles turn to mush in the injured leg, and the tendons are tight, the ligaments, everything is just a mess. So it's painful, and you're not going to be able to walk right away. But slowly and gradually, that's the key. Things started happening, and I was able to start walking. In the beginning, I had more pain. I also had a limp, which I highly recommend. Try not to develop a limp, because we develop a limp to avoid pain. But the problem is, over time, your body learns to limp, and then it's hard not to limp. And you don't want to limp. You want to walk without a limp. Around week 9, I would say, my physiotherapist said, okay, let's walk without a boot. And I'm like, are you kidding me? How do you even walk? I was afraid. I was scared. I was afraid that I was going to step and fall. Like my ankle would give up and fall. Well, that didn't happen. It was very exciting, and still I had to practice a lot on the walking and improve. The walking in the beginning was not a pretty walking, and but it was a walk, and I was so excited about it. After that, it was around week 12, week 13, where I was seeing, improvement, because it's a process. Not just relearning, teaching your body, remembering heel, ball, toes, heel, ball, toes. And to balance, the balance gets affected on this as well. Then also the leg that wasn't injured ends up suffering a little bit, because you put a lot of weight on it through this process. You kind of, goes on it, so it's gonna be sore. The other knee also is gonna bother, even though you may think it has nothing to do with it. So everything gets affected in a certain way. Now, the key is to keep going. Honestly, the hardest part are the very first weeks. For me, it was very intense, and my mind was messed up. The mental part of this process, for me, was way worse than the pain and the physical part of the process. I am about close to 9 months post-injury and surgery, and I can walk well. I can go walk for 1 hour plus. I have not tried to power walk. I am lifting weights again, obviously not as before. The ankles that has been injured pretty much tells me how much I can do, how far I can go. If I'm overdoing, it's gonna hurt. If it's too cold, it's gonna hurt. So there are a lot of things in the process, but I can feel that it's getting very stronger. I can see that both legs are almost the same size again, and also, if I need to run, I can run. I'm not a runner, but before, in the beginning of the healing process, because I didn't have strength on my toes, I could not tiptoe, I could not run, but now I can. I am also back to roller skating, because roller skating is very important for me. When I was healing, I know this may sound stupid and funny, but one of my biggest frustrations was when I was feeling down and upset, that I couldn't use my favorite tool to decompress, to feel good about myself, which was roller skating. Roller skating for me is kind of like a moving meditation, and I couldn't do that. So I was very frustrated while recovering. I know it's ridiculous, it sounds stupid, but anyway, I'm back to roller skating. Obviously not like before, because I am very mindful of my body. I am very cautious of every single move. I used to wear protective gear before, but now even more. Anyway, you will be able to get back to your life. It is going to take time. This is an injury that's going to be with you for life. It's going to become part of your life. You will get to the point where you're not going to think about it with every single step. You're not going to be thinking about it every second of your life. Slowly, you're going to have a little bit more time, not thinking about it, a little bit, until the moment that you almost forget about it. So hang in there. Give yourself a lot of grace, ask for help, listen to your doctor, rest, ice, elevate, even if you have, you know, the cast over it, ice below the knee, ice the foot. Those things are very important to decrease swelling. And listen to your body, take your medicine if you have been given medicine, whatever it is, and give yourself time. It does get better, I promise. You can see on my other videos, and you can follow my journey. You know, I have a playlist that I recorded while going through the process. Go ahead and watch if you have extra time, which is a thing in the beginning. We all have so much extra time with this injury. It's crazy, but it does get better. And if you have any questions, go ahead and drop them. But it will take time. This is different for each and every person, each and every case, each and every, you know, breakage, because it's different and bodies respond different. But you should be expecting, normally what I'm seeing with a lot of people that I've been connecting with a similar situation, you know, they're able to start walking between 8, 10, 12 weeks. But remember, that beginning of the walking is a start. You're gonna have to relearn, you're gonna have to rebuild, and it's gonna take time, but you will get there. I hope you feel better soon, and any questions you have, just ask.